All right, welcome back. You're still watching In the Game. I'm Favor Itua. We'll now go straight to the world of basketball. What a time to be in Nigeria, as of course, Rivers Hoopers are doing a lot when it comes to the world of basketball in the Basketball Africa League Sahara Conference. Now, the Nigerian powerhouse, Rivers Hoopers, has taken the Sahara Conference by storm. Now, they extended their winning streak to 3 games with a dominant 84-63 victory over former BAL champions US Monastir. The 21-point blowout proves the group of death might have a new leader. Now, traditionally, strong teams like US Monastir and AS Douanes are struggling to keep up with the Red Hot Hoopers. Now, could this be the dawn of a new dynasty in the Sahara Conference? Now, of course, only time will tell. But of course, joining us to break down this story is a basketball analyst, one of the finest in the country. Rotimi Akindele joins us from Lagos, Nigeria. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to In the Game.
Good afternoon, Favor. Glad to be on the show, and thank you for having me.
All right, Rivers Hoopers have been doing something incredible. And looking at the Sahara Conference, would you say you are surprised at how teams have turned out?
Well, to be honest, for most basketball pundits, we are very surprised. But then again, if you look at on paper, the opponents that we had going into the Sahara Conference, US Monastir 2022 champions rather. You also have AS Douanes, who were beaten finalists the last time out. That was last season. And then you have, of course, APR. Now, APR are debutants, but then again, most of the guys on their roster are either featured for REG or the Patriots from Rwanda. So there's a lot of experience somewhere in there, for the Rwandese side. So I mean, on paper, Rivers Hoopers, knowing fully well that we really don't have a thriving league in Nigeria, we knew that was going to be, a bit of a problem for us. But the fact that they recruited well, the fact that they were able to identify the kind of players they wanted, and those players came down pretty early and blended with the team. I think kudos to the Rivers Hoopers management for that, for ensuring that happens, and then. From the results we've seen so far, I guess it's just determination and good game management that has earned Rivers Hoopers 3-0. That's 3 straight wins in the Sahara Conference so far.
All right, let's look at the game proper. Now, against US Monastir, Rivers Hoopers had a blowout win, knowing that, of course, the Tunisians were 2022 champions. Will you say there is a decline in the US Monastir team, or Rivers Hoopers have been fantastic?
I mean, to be honest, don't take anything away from Rivers Hoopers. They've been fantastic. Like I said earlier, the fact that they were able to... Now, I think the difference here is that the players they got were able to come down and, get some scrimmages with them, get some training with them, first in Port Harcourt, before coming down to Lagos, and then before going down to Dakar. I think for US Monastir, there was a bit of complacency in their plannings, as it were. Yes, they have Crawford, one of the best you can ever have in the BAL. I mean, I've watched the BAL since its inception, and you can tell who Crawford is, you can tell who Atama Jock is, and all of that. I felt there was a bit of complacency in their own planning, because from their first game, you could tell that the chemistry was not really there for the US Monastir side. You can't say that for Rivers Hoopers. So I feel Rivers Hoopers have done their bit off the court so well that they now look fantastic, in every game that they play. Yes, the games are pretty close. The target is to qualify for the playoffs, and I think they've done fantastically well, talking about Rivers Hoopers. For Monastir, looks like that complacency is what is affecting them. And for them to bounce back, they really need to start getting their acts together, because they've got quality players, but they are not just playing together as a unit.
All right, well said. And let's look ahead now. Rivers Hoopers have shown consistency. Do you think that they can go ahead to win the next 3 games in the Sahara Conference and, of course, take it all the way to Rwanda?
Well, interestingly, Favor, they don't even need to win all 3 games to qualify for the playoffs. As it is now, winning 3 games is a big advantage for Rivers Hoopers. Now, just 1 win can actually ensure that you qualify automatically for the playoffs. Interestingly, in that group, APR has also won 2 games. Now, the beating finalists from last year, AS Douanes, have struggled despite the fact that they are playing at home. So there's a really, and because to be honest, maybe I should just mention it quickly. I followed APL's preparations in the last 2 months. They went to Qatar to have a training tour. They've been in Kigali for a bit as well. They've been playing top-notch basketball games before coming down to the Sahara Conference. So that could tell from what we're seeing, because they defeated US Monastir, they defeated APR, they defeated AS Douanes rather, and that's why it is pretty close. So only one team has won 3 games, and another team has won 2 games. Then the remaining 3 games, Rivers Supers, all they have to do is just probably win 1 game, and if you're going to lose at all, don't lose scandalously, because the points will also come to play when it comes to the final standings. So I feel Hoopers, from what we've seen, I like the fact that the vibe from the team is the job is not done yet. So I see Hoopers winning at least 2 more games and still in that playoff spot. So if you ask me if they will be in Kigali for the playoffs, I'm telling you, yes, Rivers Supers will be in Kigali for the playoffs.
All right, you've just talked about what, of course, Rivers Supers used to do and how you see them going all the way to the playoffs. I mean, interestingly, and it's looking like already that the teams they've played so far have not given them a run for their money, maybe except for APR, which of course was a kind of not so easy. But let's look at what you would call the Hoopers team now. Would you call the success of Rivers Hoopers reaching the playoff rounds or winning the title? Which of them would you call as a success? The playoff rounds or the winning the title?
I think winning the title will be asking for too much. Let's get into the playoff rounds. I mean, since its inception, rather, the BAL, Nigeria has never played in the playoffs. The inaugural edition was played, yes, in Kigali, but it was a different format. Of course, before the new format started in 2012, 2022 rather. It should have started in 2020, but because of COVID, it was postponed to 2021. So Rivers Supers lost in the first round. We missed out of the second edition because of our internal problems here. And then Sahara Falcons represented us last year, and it was a sham. It was a very, very poor outing. We didn't even get to win 1 game. But this time around, success for me will be Hoopers making it down to the playoffs. Like I said, they've done pretty well identifying the players that they feel they want to add, that they feel they can add to the team and give them results. The likes of Will Perry, John Wilkins, Kelvin Amayo, Divine AK, and of course the guy from the BAL Elevate, Divine AK as it were. So David Ike rather. So you look at all of that addition, it's pretty good, and it's also working well. Victor Gogo is in there with the captain. He's been there, done that for Rivers Supers. They've got some experience on their own front as well. I feel no pressures on Rivers Supers. Just make it down to the playoffs. Once you make it down to the playoffs, then as a fan, as a pundit, I'm pretty excited that Rivers Supers have done pretty well. If they now take it a notch higher, by probably, because don't forget, when you get to the playoffs, it's a knockout. It's just win or bust. So you don't get another chance. Anything can happen.
Okay.
So I think getting to the playoffs in Kigali will be the success story for me.
All right, thank you very much. And before I let you go, now we've seen congratulatory messages from the Nigerian Basketball Federation. For me, I'm not excited with that alone because, of course, the enabling environment has not been made for the team called Rivers Hoopers and other Nigerian basketball clubs. Do you think this should also be like a wake-up call for the NBBF to ensure that we have a league that runs every now and then and just not just once in a while just to bring out representatives for BAL?
Well, it depends on how the NBBF guys or officials wants to see this one. We've been having success stories in basketball, and not just with Rivers Supers. The national team have been a perfect example, and they have really failed, to capitalize on any of these things. So I don't think Rivers Supers making it, having a success story at the BAL, will probably change their approach to what they intend to do, or they intend to correct, or where they intend to see basketball grow in Nigeria in the next few years. They don't need Rivers Supers to motivate them. The congratulatory messages are good, even from the players as well. Some of them have responded and, we hear that Nigeria basketball space is buzzing. Thank you for all the support and all that. Yeah, if a team is doing well, you always get congratulatory messages. But I feel if the NBBF officials are ready to work and do the right things, they will do it.
All right, thank you very much, Rotimi Akindele, for your time. I mean, it's been a fantastic conversation so far, and we can only hope that Rivers Hoopers keep on representing the flag of Nigeria, and hopefully they go all the way, not just the playoffs. They might just upset the world and go on to the finals. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Favor.